What's up, guys? Remington Kais here, and today I'll be rating all 7 Star Wars movies from best to worst, or from worst to best. Don't hate my opinion on this. I really like all the Star Wars movies, except for Episode 7. But just because it's one of your favorites is lower on the list does not mean I think it's like a horrible movie. I still like all the Star Wars movies, except for Episode 7. That's the only one I'll be hating on. So with all that aside, let's start this list. Number 7 is Attack of the Clones. Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. And it's just, I don't know, it just didn't hit me well as the other Star Wars movies to be higher on the list. And I don't hate it, by all means. I love the big Jedi fight scene in the arena and all that. I love all that cool stuff. The fighting was great. To me, it felt very much like a Star Wars movie. It's just the lowest one on the list. Number 6 is The Phantom Menace. Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Which I really enjoyed. It's just not my favorite Star Wars movie. I like Jar Jar Binks in there. I like young Anakin, the whole pod racing thing. And I love the midichlorians, how they dive down into the water. I mean, it's one of my, definitely a good movie on my standards. I love it. And I've loved it ever since I was a kid. And I can still watch it now and still like it. So, let's move on to the number 5. Number 5 is The Force Awakens. This one this is the only Star Wars movie I just did not click with me at all. To me, it feels too much like a rehash of Episode 4, and if I really wanted to see Episode 4, I'd go watch Episode 4. You know, I've seen it 3 times in theaters, and I've never liked either one. I slightly like them better as I watch them more, but it's still not enjoyable for me. And if you like it, you know, by all means like it. It's just something that doesn't hit me on the same level as the other Star Wars movies do. At number 4 is Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. I like A New Hope, you know, introduction of Luke, other than Revenge of the Sith when he's a baby, but shows him, you know, his progression, or beginning of his progression that leads up into Empire Strikes Back, you know. It's a really good start to a good trilogy. He's a little bit whiny, but so was Anakin in the prequels, so I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like, the whole Skywalkers are a little bit whiny, especially, you know, Force Awakens with Kylo Ren, so. Number 3 is Revenge of the Sith. And the only reason why this is not number 2 is Hayden Christensen's acting when he does that final fight scene with Obi-Wan. It's so horrible to watch. Just, the guy who plays Obi-Wan's a great actor. You get to the Anakin Skywalker, he's one of the worst actors I've ever seen. And I think the Jedi were evil. Just that line. Oh, I cringe every time I hear it. And I really thought the fight scene looked BA. It's just that his lines, if you just cut out his lines, maybe they should have dubbed him over with somebody else. I don't know. Did not fit. Only reason why it's not number 2. But number 2 is Empire Strikes Back. Definitely one of the best in the series, but still not my favorite. It's, you know, it has one of the biggest reveals in the Star Wars canon. You know, Luke, I am your father, like that. Just one of the best lines. You know, it's still enjoyable. I mean, I love it. I love it. It's definitely got a dark twist ending. You know, it makes you want to go see the third one. And my number 1 favorite Star Wars movie, getting here, is Return of the Jedi. And the reason why I have this as my number 1, not Empire Strikes Back, it's because it concludes the original trilogy. It concludes it on such a good level. You know, forget about the Ewoks. I kind of like the Ewoks, you know? I kind of like, you know, the second Death Star. But I have no problem with those, you know? It's I don't know how to explain it. I just have such a love for this movie. There's so many good things. It concludes it on a good level. You know, it wraps up everything that Empire Strikes Back set up that needed to be wrapped. Answers a lot of questions from the whole trilogy, and it's just such a good movie to me. I don't know how to explain it. It's very homey, like, I don't know. It's my number one favorite. But what'd you guys think? Comment below how you would rate all 7 Star Wars movies. And your list is going to be different from mine. All film's subjective. That's the good thing about films, There's no right answer. This is just my opinion. Make sure you comment below what you guys thought. From best to worst, worst to best. However way you want to rate it. Comment below, let me know. And if you like what you see here and want to see more, click the subscribe button to see more.